All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Let's get right into this video.
Do not want to be this. You do not want to be this dude.
Now, logically, after 4 years, only hitting 2,000 subscribers, I mean, why wouldn't we move on to different things in life?
2,000 subscribers after 4 years is crazy work. Now, after all of that, the reasonable thing to do would be to go get a real job. But the thing is, in order to be successful, you're going to have to be pretty unreasonable. Fast forward a decade later, and RDC World has 7.27 million subscribers on YouTube. They stuck to the plan and now they're doing it big. You see, logic is the graveyard for greatness. People will call you crazy for 4 years, but then they'll call you lucky in year 5 when the check starts to clear. So if you're in that 2,000 sub era of your life, whatever that may be, don't listen to the people in the cheap seats. The biggest critics usually have the smallest results. And don't forget that
Walt Disney said a quitter made up the word impossible. I'm lying like a hoe. I said that.
you do not.
Alright, so as we can see, what I'm gonna go for towards this video is you have this infamous channel called RDC, and what happened was in their beginnings they kept being unreasonable until the end result. But however, we know as Israelites, our goal is not to be a success in Babylon, right? For us as Israelites, the true Israelites, our goal, well, we have our lot chosen, but really is to be of the elect. And to be honest, right, we need to have faith that is considered unreasonable to this world, right? We need to move through this world which seems unreasonable to the heathen, right? Because following Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to this world seems unreasonable to the heathen and the non-believers. Because what you need to understand is, for one, for instance, the world sees it as foolishness when we, not foolishness, but the world sees it as weird when we don't eat pork. The world sees it as dirty when we don't get shape-ups. The world sees it as unhygienic when we don't shape up our hair, right? Or a bald face ourselves. But we don't do it to please man or woman. We do it to please Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So the fact that we're choosing and basically gambling everything on the Lord against this world will seem unreasonable to many of the masses, especially when the MOTB comes out. Because when the MOTB comes out, many people are going to be choosing the so-called logical choice, right? Which the logical choice would be for those people to take the MOTB so that they could eat and fill their belly, right? For those people to take the MOTB so they can no longer feel uncomfortable. But the faith choice, the choice chosen in faith is, no matter how hungry you are, no matter how bad things get, no matter how bad things look in those times, we decide to trust in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right? And not take the MOTB, even unto death. We must be unreasonable in faith in this truth. We must have unreasonable faith that no matter what, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai will deliver and keep his elect, keep his promise, and protect his people. Right? For we know that the reward is great for those that endure unto the end. Right? Just like how you have RDC, they endured until, till they got to 7 million subscribers. And it paid off for them. But however, for us, we're not carnal. Our stake that we're enduring for isn't for the world. What we're doing is we're making sure that our faith, our reward, is in something higher than this world, which is in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in the kingdom of heaven. So let's get out the scripture. Wherefore, Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Right. We're to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. This means, doing our best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, rehearsing the righteous acts, right? And not going off. So, for instance, not eating pork, not getting a shape up, not marring your beard, right? Or following false idols, right? For verse 13, for there is Yahweh which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure, right? So we know, and NIV is a good translation too, for his God, for his Yahweh who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose, right? So when we act set apart from this world, when we act, which really set apart means holy, right? We are fulfilling the purpose that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has set for us. So let's get out scripture of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the God, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, right? So, really, the wisdom in this world really is going to end up coming down to a choice, right? Because this world's collapsing on every side. So you're going to see the wisdom in this world is either going to be, the wisdom of this world is foolishness to Yahweh, right? Because you're going to have a lot of people that take the MOTB, right? Which is foolishness. And the thing is, a lot of these heathen and non-believers will think that's a wise thing. When really that's a foolish thing. So have unreasonable faith, brethren, have in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Have faith in his promises. Know he will deliver us in that time. And even if you are to get put to death, then that's a good thing too. Right? Because we also get rewarded for getting put to death for Yahweh Shai. So honestly, that's also a win. So be faithful unto death. So I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and the elect, and the 144,000, and all. And thank you to the elders, apostles, and brethren, help teachers of truth. And shalom.